Hello and welcome to Budweiser Gardens for this National Basketball League of Canada regular season game between the London Lightning and the visiting Windsor Express. Good afternoon. My name is Marty Thompson. I'm joined by Chris Croucher. Chris, London coming into this one after a very convincing home win last night against the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans.
Yeah, it was a very big win too, 117-92, and really it all started from the first quarter. We know that this team has always been able to start hot. It's been their calling card all season long. In fact, that's exactly what happened against KW. They had 30 points compared to the Titans' 15. That's a great defensive effort and offensive effort from the Lightning in that first quarter. And really they rode that success all the way through. And I think what was more impressive to me wasn't that first quarter, but it was their fourth quarter. We've seen London start strong in games. They've had a strong start every single game this year, but then they've had those fourth quarter collapses that always came back to haunt them, and even some of their wins were a lot closer because they let that fourth quarter collapse happen. This time they played 4 complete quarters. It was the most complete start-to-finish game I saw from the Lightning this year. And they did an excellent job closing out that game, never letting KW get too close. KW had a couple of runs there, and London always had an answer for it, so it really was a dominant performance from the Lightning in that game. And if they can get out to a start like that here, it'll be a very good omen for them in this game against the Windsor Express.
We know head coach Kyle Julius was looking for that four-quarter performance, and like you said, they got it last night and hopefully get it again this afternoon against the Windsor Express. Looking towards the Express, they also took on the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans in their last game. That ended up being a win for them.
Yeah, and the thing with the Windsor Express, they won, of course. It was a 102-90 win against the Titans on Friday. And they played a good game. They held the Titans to some pretty bad shooting numbers, but I think the thing with Windsor is they weren't thrilled with that win. I think there were things they thought they could improve on. I mean, the KW Titans only shot 1 of 18 from the three-point line in that game, and that doesn't happen very often. Now, you could say that defensively they limited the perimeter shooting, but on the other hand, I think the fact that KW, if they make only 3 of those three-pointers, are right back in that game, kind of has to scare you if you're the Windsor Express.
And of course, looking towards the Windsor Express today, if you've heard the news, if you haven't, this might be a little bit of breaking news for you, but DeAndre Thomas activated and is in the lineup, not in the starting lineup, but in the lineup here this afternoon, and the return of DeAndre.
Yeah, well, Mr. 3-second rule, DeAndre Thomas, he's a familiar face for those of you who are NBL Canada fans, and the reason I called him Mr. 3-second rule there is they instituted a rule almost because of the way DeAndre Thomas plays. He likes to back down against his defender. He has that size on the inside, and he's got nice touch, and so he's able to finish when he does back a guy down. He can be a dominant physical force when he's on his game. Now, he is coming off of a severe injury. He missed all of last year, and the reason it took him so long to get into the lineup for Windsor this year, he was with them throughout all of training camp and all the way up until now, is all rehabbing because of that knee injury. So he's coming into this game. He's going to be maybe a bit rusty. I don't think we're going to see him play as many minutes as you might expect him to, but he can be a dominant interior presence for this Windsor Express team, especially once he gets to 100%.
And of course, DeAndre Thomas, a former London Lightning player. We are moments away from tip-off here at Budweiser Gardens between London and Windsor, but first, Canada's national anthem. And we're back here at Budweiser Gardens again, London versus Windsor here on a Sunday afternoon, a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in London, Ontario. NBL action back here on YouTube. Chris, we were talking a bit before about DeAndre Thomas, and obviously he can be a huge impact for a team's front court, but when you look at London's front court, you've still got Julian Boyd, you've still got Royce White. It's going to be really interesting to see how they match up with Windsor today.
Well, I'm going to apologize to all of our London Lightning viewers who have watched every single Lightning game this season, because here I am again talking about Royce White and Julian Boyd. They have been outstanding for the London Lightning. They've really been the heart and soul of this club. Both players are averaging just a shade under 19 points. And of course, Royce White had 2 triple-doubles back-to-back last weekend against the KW Titans. And in fact, had he gotten 1 assist on the Thursday game before that, he would have had 3 straight triple-doubles. And that shows you the impact that White can have and how difficult it's going to be for the Windsor Express to stop him in this game. And I think a guy like Thomas, I think guys like Lester Prosper, Gernard Giroux, they're bigger bodies than we've really seen try to defend London Lightning bigs before. I know London won the last meeting between these two guys by a rather handy margin, but now that both teams are starting to get in a groove, they practice together, they've had a lot more time on the court together, they're starting to get to know each other. I think that's going to really help them in this game, because now they've got some extra bulk down the middle. And of the teams we've seen in the Central try to defend against the London Lightning, I think this is the team that has the best shot at doing that, because they have those bigger bodies.
Well, you're also looking at some incredible talent on this Windsor Express team. I know we probably already talked about that in this first game between the two teams, as you mentioned. But you've got Quinnell Brown, right? You've got a former MVP there. Obviously, you've got DeAndre coming back, Warren Ward, as many London Lightning fans will know, and also Nick Evans, another player that Lightning fans will know. They definitely do have that veteran talent.
Yeah, some of the most beloved former London Lightning players that you'll see among that group there. Of course, Nick Evans is another one of those big guys who I failed to mention there, who provides that interior presence. And what really astounds me with this team, you know, in the NBL, there's so much roster turnover. You think a rivalry like this one might start to die out just because each new year it's a new cast. There are a lot of players who have been in the thick of that 401 battle for a long time. I mean, on London, you've got Garrett Williamson and Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson's been on both sides of that. And then, of course, in their last meeting, Nick Evans and Royce White got into it, so you could say Royce White's been involved in that rivalry now. And then, of course, on Windsor, Nick Evans, Warren Ward, Lester Prosper, when he comes back, Darren Duncan, Quinnell Brown. A lot of these guys are very much aware and have been a part of the bitter rivalry between these two teams. And tonight we're going to see another chapter in that rivalry.
Probably the best rivalry that NBL Canada has seen in its short 6-year history. The starting 5 for the Windsor Express, in case you missed it: Warren Ward, Maurice Jones, Quinnell Brown, Wally Ennelson, and Nick Evans as well. And then looking towards the London Lightning, looking at their starting 5, looks like we've got Junior Cadogan, Garrett Williamson, Royce White, Julian Boyd, and Ryan Anderson. We talked about the front court, and as you said, you talk about Julian Boyd and Royce White quite often. Looking towards the backcourt for this one specifically, Ryan Anderson, Joel Friesen as well. They seem to kind of be hot and cold. Ryan had the last home game here before the last one there, kind of off and on, and it'll be good for him rather to get a good game in today.
Well, I think this is the most talented London team on the wings. And one of the things about it is if a guy has a bad night, there's usually someone who's ready to step up, whether that's Joel Friesen, who had a 12-point game right at the start of the year, or Ryan Anderson, who had 20-plus in not last night, but the game before that against Kitchener-Waterloo. There's always someone who's ready to step in on this London Lightning team, and that depth is really what carried them. Think about last night against Kitchener-Waterloo. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm saying against Kitchener-Waterloo again a lot. They played 3 straight games against Kitchener-Waterloo, so that's what I'm going to be drawing on a lot here. But with the London Lightning, they had a lot of their bigs get into foul trouble early. You had Boyd get 4 fouls in the first half. You had a guy like Royce White who had to sit on the bench a lot with fouls, and Tony Criswell had to play rather cautiously because he also had a ton of fouls. And so I think that speaks to the depth that London has on the wings, that those were the guys who got it done last night. Of course, Boyd had 18, White had 18, but a lot of those numbers came in the fourth quarter. The ones that helped the Lightning pull ahead were those wing players. Garrett Williamson had a huge first quarter. I think that was a big reason that London was able to pull ahead in that game. And you even look at guys like Frederick Edmond, hasn't played a ton of minutes. All of a sudden, London's in foul trouble. It's Frederick Edmond's turn to step up, and he comes out and gets 12 points, 14 rebounds. It's just a matter of next man up with the London Lightning, and that's what has to scare you with the Windsor Express. Traditionally, they're a team that Bill Jones likes to really ride his starters. Traditionally, they're a team that doesn't use the entire bench, but when you play the London Lightning, there's so many guys that they can throw at you that it really does put a heavy burden on those starters, and so we're going to see if Windsor's starters can prevent London from getting to a fast start, in which case London can't keep rotating guys out. But if London does get that fast start, they get to keep rotating guys in and out, making as many substitutions as they can to try and mess up the lineups and matchups of the Express.
Junior Cadogan leads off the starting five here at Budweiser Gardens, coming out to the fans here. Again, London versus Windsor. This one other game that they played this year was a 129-105 win for the London Lightning. And we kind of touched on that earlier, Chris, but if you look back to that game, Windsor got into foul trouble, obviously with Nick Evans getting tied in with Royce White, but Enelson with 5 fouls, Quinnell Brown with 5 fouls, and that kind of seems to be the storyline for London early on in this season is, guys like Royce White, guys like Julian Boyd, they're going to be hard to handle. So it looks like teams are maybe just going to try to put them into foul trouble, I guess. Is that something that you subscribe to?
Well, I think the fouls were more the nature of when these two teams meet. They're both rough, physical teams, and they both have no problems getting into each other's faces. I thought that Nick Evans' foul, ejection, hurt more than the Royce White one. And I know I'm saying that with Royce White being a front runner for MVP at the early point in the season. But the reason I felt that was a big moment in London's favor was the fact that Nick Evans was really one of their only guys who could match White for size. He can't match White for speed, and White was able to make a lot of beautiful footwork moves to get around Evans, and that was a bit of a problem. But I felt like London had a big to give, the way the Express did not. So I think it's going to be important more for Windsor to stay disciplined, because London's had foul troubles in a lot of their games. They've committed a lot more fouls than I think anyone expected. So if Windsor can almost bait them and see if they can get the Lightning players in trouble while staying disciplined on their own, so you get to keep all those big guys in the game, I think that could be a huge deal for the Windsor Express. So they got to make sure, London's going to be in their face, Windsor's going to be in theirs. If Windsor keeps their cool, they could have a huge advantage.
It's all about trying to get these Central Division rivalries going here according to the league schedule. London playing Kitchener 3 times in a row, and now London playing Windsor today, and then playing them again in the midweek in Windsor. So again, the 401 rivalry, one of the 401 rivalries anyways, very much alive and well here at Budweiser Gardens. London versus Windsor. The Lightning in yellow, the Express in black. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth with you for this one this afternoon. Looks like it's going to be Nick Evans matching up with Julian Boyd before Boyd just having a quick chat with Cadogan and Garrett Williamson as well. Solid crowd here at Budweiser Gardens this afternoon. London win the tip-off and get this one started. Junior Cadogan brings it across half. Here's Garrett Williamson. He charges to the lane, swatted there by Quinnell Brown, and the Express get their first possession. Jones coming across, very short frame of his. Brown switches it over. Here's Warren Ward. Evans in the post. Ward steps back for 3, misses, but it's tipped in there by Ellenson.
Wally Ellenson, he had his coming out party against the London Lightning. He had 22 points in that last matchup between these two teams.
Royce White can't get the tip in there. That was Cadogan going to the net, running into a very menacing Nick Evans. Enelson goes for it again and gets the 3.
You can't leave Ellenson open from three-point land. He's shooting 46% from beyond the arc this year. That's an absolutely bonkers number, so you know he's going to make that shot.
Julian Boyd with possession. Loses it, falls out, and London will keep possession here. We're a minute into this one here at Budweiser Gardens. London yet to score, and timeout, Kyle Julius.
Yeah, that means bad things if you're the London Lightning. The defense from the Windsor Express was absolutely outstanding. Everyone moving their feet. And then on offense, they just got London Lightning guys who were just caught kind of watching there. I mean, Ellenson was able to fly from way out to get that tip in when really, box out and that doesn't happen. So I think for the Lightning, this timeout, you never want to be the first coach to call a timeout, but I do think this is a good one to take because it's clear that, something's off here. This has been what I like to call the death lineup for the London Lightning. You put all 5 in, and no one's really been able to stop them. This is the first time we've seen this group of 5 in the game struggle as a unit. So it's interesting now because this is something that, having watched every London game this year, I've never really gotten to see. So I think it's a great job by Bill Jones. There's clearly some good scheming. Every time someone makes any sort of a cut on the Lightning, I think Bill Jones knew the play to look for because London's been running a play where they try to get the ball to White at the top of the key and then do a quick pass inside, usually to someone cutting, almost like a quick tap pass by White. And I think we saw a couple times there a guy would make that cut and there were 2 Windsor guys already ready for him. So Windsor really came out. They must have really studied the film on this one. And so that timeout there is just to say, okay, let's try something different here. And again, Coach Julius, one of the best at drawing up plays. Hopefully this will be a renewed look for the London Lightning.
Maybe just a chance to get set on offense. It just seem to be kind of scrambling, and with a team that's number 1 in ball movement in the league so far in terms of assists and the like, it's just good to get a little bit of possession here. Nice pass from Anderson to Royce White.
And there's some of that quick passing that we weren't seeing in those opening possessions, and we just get to see there. Again, that time it was Boyd who was able to make that quick pass. So again, a little adjustment, and all of a sudden something opens up.
Nick Evans up against Royce White. As we mentioned, they got into it this last game. 2 teams played. Ball falls out of play. It looks like it's going to go Windsor way.
I don't think anyone on Windsor thought it was going to go their way. It started getting back on defense.
5-2 for the Express early on. And this is Jones off to Ward. Anderson, the former teammate of Ward, tracking him very closely. He knows what he's capable of. Jones misses the jumper from the top of the key. Julian Boyd moves it across here for the Bolts. Boyd slips into the key off of the pass from Royce White. He can't get it to go. The score remains 5-2. Jones brings it across here for the Express. Ward versus Anderson, 2 very active players, both on offense and defense. Ward is fouled. The refs blow things down again.
And the longer this pace keeps at a slower crawl here, the more it favors the Windsor Express. They're a team much more comfortable with the slower half-court game than the London Lightning are. London likes to get up and down the floor in a hurry. So again, as long as this keeps going nice and slow, the Windsor Express are very comfortable here.
Warren Ward misses his first shot. Some jeers coming from the crowd here at Budweiser Gardens. The upper bowl is open today.
Pretty close to full, too.
Warren Ward goes 0 for 2 from the line. Cadogan takes a spill. This is White. Now to Williamson. Finds a lane. No foul call. And no bucket either. Enelson with it for 3. Misses. Tipped around. Boyd grabs it.
Keep an eye on Windsor's defense here. I thought the guards did an excellent job of collapsing whenever London brought it inside. So they're providing great defense on the outside and then really coming and helping very nicely as we see Maurice Jones do exactly that.
Jones climbs the ladder, gets the ball back here from Brown. Great ball moving here from the Express. Gets Warren Ward that open 3, but he'll miss it. We're 3 minutes into this one here in the first quarter. This is Ryan Anderson with the ball, and then another foul. Looks like that one's going to go against Warren Ward. And Garrett Williamson getting set on the inbound. Recently went over the 1,000-point plateau with the Lightning. Congratulations to him for that.
It's a big mark, too. Only 3 other players in Lightning history have recorded 1,000 points with the Lightning.
This is Jones. Finds Enelson. Swatted there by Royce White.
Almost hit the owner.
White didn't even need a jump either. Pushed it over. 8:48 on the clock here in the first quarter. This is Jones with the ball. Bounce pass. Brown tries to get the foul, but he'll get the bucket. 7-2 now for the Express.
Great job by Quinnell Brown to really adjust for the contact there. Anderson did a nice job to not get called for the foul, but Brown just too good to miss that shot.
White finds Anderson. Great pass and a great layup.
The touch from Anderson there to, again, avoiding Ellinson's block. Ryan Anderson seems to have that feel for where the defenders are around him right now going.
Jones backs in. Ward now to Enelson. Another shot. Misses there from number 30 in black. Royce White finds Boyd in the post up against Enelson. Foul. Boyd's going to go to the line.
You know, Julian Boyd's been a little bit overshadowed just because Royce White has had such a brilliant start, but he's been a very important piece for this London Lightning team. Of course, the chemistry between him and White, a big reason White's been able to rack up some of the stats he has, and a big reason Boyd's been getting 19 points per game. He's been matching White on the scoring front, and he had that 31-point performance earlier in the year. That puts him in the top 10 scoring performances by a London Lightning player. So again, Julian Boyd, a very big part of this team, but one that people kind of underestimate just due to who his front court mate is.
Boyd drains the second shot. Maurice Jones carrying the ball here for the Express. They're up by 2 here in the first. Quinnell Brown up against Anderson. No players moving around there for Brown, so we had to take the shot. The ball is tipped around, collected here by Ryan Anderson and the London Lightning. Neither team has made a substitution yet. Cadogan finds Anderson for 3 at the very top. He gets it.
Big shot from Anderson. He's yapping at Wally Ellenson right now.
Enelson collects. Go off to Jones. Into the corner. Brown with the fake shot. He gets fouled, and the refs will blow that down. The London get their first lead of the game here, up by 1. 7:19 on the clock here in the first. Inbound coming here from Jones. Up top to the former MVP and Quinnell Brown. Ward up against White. Somehow keeps the ball. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Ward gets it off, and he misses. Here's Royce White streaking to the net. He's going to get the ball. Oh, nice distribution there to Garrett Williamson, who's fouled as he goes to the hoop.
Yeah, Nick Evans going to get called for the blocking foul on that one. Great job by Williamson to just go after it. And, you know, Royce White, he made a really heads-up play. Boyd got that pass to him just a little bit too late for White to make much of a play to the hoop with it. So instead, as soon as he realized how close he was to the basket and that he wouldn't really get that shot, he immediately turned around and started looking for a pass, and that's how he found Williamson there.
Joel Friesen comes into the game, and Ryan Anderson makes way. Garrett Williamson with his 2 shots at the line misses that first one. Do you know the 3 other players in London Lightning history?
Those 3 other players would be that have recorded 1,000 points as members of the London Lightning. Of course, Garrett Williamson is the first one. The 3 others are Marvin Phillips, Tim Ellis, and Elvin Mims. So some great old-school Lightning names there for Lightning fans. I should note, ooh, that's going to be a foul. Should note, Williamson also became the 3rd Canadian to record 1,000 points in NBLC.
Another nice tidbit. Do you know the other 2 or 3?
I know one is Joey Haywood, and the second one I cannot name off the top of my head.
Sorry for putting you on the spot. Tim Ellis and Elvin Mims and Marvin Phillips, Garrett Williamson. That's a pretty good setup there.
I'm going to have to do the research on it, but I think he might have been the quickest to get to 1,000 too.
Williamson, Boyd with the shuffle. Runs into Enelson, gets it to go.
Great job by Julian Boyd, and again, he's one of those guys. We haven't talked about him a whole ton around the league, but he is a very key part to this Lightning team.
Evans gets it in the post here. Clinton Springer Williams has come into the game here for the Express as well. Evans with a a very clunky-looking fade shot from the top of the key.
Yeah, I don't think the jumping fade shot is a Nick Evans special there. Royce White stood up very strong and forced that tough shot.
Royce tries to find Garrett Williamson down low. It's no good. You see Enelson diving into the bench there, trying to retrieve that ball. 5:53 on the clock here at Budweiser Gardens. 11-9. London lead, and compare this first quarter to the one last night, Chris. It's not nearly as quick for the London Lightning.
Well, I'm pretty sure London was over 20 at this point in the quarter. It's been a very slow game for both teams. Boyd hits a huge three-pointer there. He can make those shots. You know, the thing with Boyd, I liken him a lot to Marvin Phillips in his game, but whereas Phillips would look for that three-point shot, Boyd usually isn't playing that way. Every so often, though, if you give him that opportunity, he'll just fade back to the three-point line, and he's able to drill that shot.
That was pretty early on in this season. I think it was the home opener when Boyd was doing that, and I remember talking to Coach Julius after the game. He said that's just part of his game, just doing that once or twice, frees up a bit down low, and then, you know, he can kind of rotate that and keep going back.
And there we see some excellent defense force the travel. A great job. I believe that was Joel Friesen who forced that travel. And we're going to see a substitution here as Kyle Johnson comes into the game for Garrett Williamson.
Junior Cadogan grabs the ball here. Jones looking him down. And a bit of a foot race here. Cadogan finds Royce White for three. Misses. Quennell Brown with the rebound. 5 minutes to go here in the first. 3 fouls each. This is Evans, and now off to Clinton Springer-Williams, London native and former London Lightning player. Tries to step around Joel Friesen, the fellow Canadian. The ball falls out of play.
You know, Clinton Springer-Williams, I think, is a really, really good story for NBLC, because it's one thing to be able to attract Canadian players. It's another thing to be able to develop them within your league. And I think with Springer-Williams, the fact that, as we see, that shot's not going to go for Brown. With Springer-Williams, he's a guy who got his first professional season here in the NBLC. He's a Canadian, he's from London, he played at Carleton, and he got to have that opportunity not just to have a pro contract, but to develop as a player. His first season in London, he really didn't spend a lot of time off the bench. He spent a lot of time just learning and soaking it up. He went to Niagara, got an expanded role there, and he's also played a significant role here. And I think that's a big thing for this league, is the ability to not only get Canadian talent, but to develop it as well.
And you can see it year in and year out as those players continue to step up and just become greater contributions to their team, for sure. Here's Springer-Williams with it now. Jones with the ball, trying to step around Boyd. He'll get the foul call as he goes to the floor. Everyone in Budweiser Gardens heard that one. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth, and the Express are getting set to make another change. Enelson comes out, and it looks like we're going to get Brandon Kearney coming in for the first time here today. As we mentioned off the top, DeAndre Thomas in the lineup here. Number 2 in black. Likely see him at some point.
Looks like he's got the track pants off. He's got the warm-up gear off, so shouldn't be too much longer until we see Thomas in this game.
Joel Friesen with possession. This will step around, find some space for Julian Boyd. He misses the three, though. Tipped around and collected here by Kearney. Great pass there to find Quennell Brown on the far side. Air ball, though, and a fallout off of Friesen.
Don't forget to stop by the Bell booth up on the concourse. They have some incredible deals.
Royce White coming back into the game, and Julian Boyd making way. Kyle Julius making another change. Inbound coming. Quennell Brown with it. He'll hand it off to Jones. Kearney stripped to the ball. Here comes Cadogan. Another foot race. Gets around Jones. Takes it up. Gorgeous stuff from Junior Cadogan.
Well, Junior Cadogan almost getting mugged on the way to the basket there. Still able to finish. Great job by the Canadian guard.
3:27 left in the first. Great footwork there from Brown to get some space at the very top. Takes the three. Misses. Grabbed there by Royce White. The other thing about this London Lightning team, Chris, is how good they are on the boards. one of the better defending, or one of the better rebounding teams in the league as well, as I see another foul call there.
Yeah, and that rebounding gives them a lot of extra opportunities, and that's how they're able to rack up the points they have, the way they have been. And one of the reasons they're struggling here with Windsor is, first off, you got guys like Nick Evans making nice, tough plays, drawing the charge there. But you also have them rebounding and taking away what could be a lot of extra Lightning opportunities.
Jones on this near side, and there's Evans up against Royce White. There's that matchup again. Looks like Quinnell Brown really wanted that one again. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Jones gets it off in time. It hits the rim. It's a fresh shot clock there as Brown gets the offensive rebound. Springer Williams with the shot, and it's going to miss. Collected.
Had a lot of time. That's not a great shot there.
Here comes Kyle Johnson. 2:30 on the clock here in the first. Steps around. Royce White at the top. Friesen gets that one to go.
Big play there from Joel Friesen. Of course, he did this against the Lightning as a member of the Hurricanes. So if you can't beat him, sign him, and that's exactly what the Lightning did.
Kearney hands it off to Jones. The Express, we got to get something going here. They're down 19-11. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Springer Williams tries to get around, spins, goes around Royce White. Great play.
Great athletic play there from the Carleton grad, Clinton Springer Williams. And again, he's got that little extra motivation when you're playing your former team. And Clinton Springer Williams, just a beautiful play.
Oh, great stuff there by Royce White to somehow end up with the ball. And now here come the Express and the fast break. Springer Williams can't get the slam, but there's a foul call.
Well, Junior Cadogan's just saying, no, you're not going to dunk on me there. Springer Williams trying to make a poster, but Junior Cadogan refusing to let that happen.
And the Express are making a change. Lester Prosper coming into the game and Nick Evans making way. Mentioned Prosper is one of Windsor's bigs that has caused London some trouble so far this season.
He played for Windsor before this, and he didn't make too much of a... I don't want to say he didn't make an impression, but he didn't really play a ton of minutes as a member of the Express previously. But he's a guy who he went to different leagues, and he really did develop as a player. I mean, I believe it was last season he was in Mexico, and he had a bit of a breakout year there. He averaged almost a double-double, and so that gives him an opportunity to come back to Windsor, get back on the map, and he's been playing very well here as a member of the Express.
1:39 on the clock here in the first. Edmond steps around, lots of space out there for him. Boyd onto Criswell, along the baseline, up and over, misses. And now here come the Express. Jones, ball's tipped. Boyd grabs it. Criswell on the fast break, steps up, and one.
Great play there from Criswell, who didn't do so well on the original possession, but Julian Boyd makes a nice defensive play there. And Anthony Criswell, who's really a bigger part of this rotation than you might think, comes in and makes a great bucket there. And Criswell's a very key piece to this Lightning team because they lean on that front court so much with Boyd and White. So when they come, one of them has to come out of the game. You need a big who's just as competent as those guys. And Criswell averaging 10 and 6. He's not going to make that free throw, but he could probably start for a lot of teams in NBL Canada. He's a very, very good big for this Lightning team.
21-15, the Express are down, but they've got the ball. Jones looking for an outlet. He finds Quinnell Brown in the post. Steps around Edmond and won't get that one to drop. Prosper with a great offensive rebound and putback.
And that's exactly what Lester Prosper needs to be for this Express team. That rebound and putback game is something that needs to be there when a guy like Nick Evans is out of the game.
Boyd for three again. The refs blow things down before the shot was taken.
That's going to be a foul on Quinnell Brown, I believe.
So with 40 seconds left in the first, London getting set here for a shot from the line, or an inbound rather here from Kyle Johnson. Johnson gets the ball back from Criswell. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson switches it to Friesen. Distance three, missed there by Joel. Ball's tipped out of play, and it's going to go Windsor way with 24 seconds on the shot clock and the game clock. The Express looking to bring this one within a point or two before heading into the interval. Jones in no rush, trying to take a bit of time off. 8 seconds now. Jones to Brown. Now down to 3 seconds. Brown to take the shot. Misses. And now we'll wrap up this first quarter of play here at Budweiser Gardens. 21-17, the London Lightning with the lead here. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Budweiser Gardens, London versus Windsor. The Lightning with a 21-17 lead here after one quarter of play. Lightning looking to go up to a record of 6-3 with a win here today. The Express sitting at 500, playing 500 ball, 3-3 so far this season. Neither team has made a road trip out east. The River Lions have, though. And the Orangeville A's have as well. Those trips will be coming up. 2 trips each now for either team, of course, with 5 teams in either division. So 2 separate trips rather than some teams are getting one in with just the 4 teams. Be quite a road trip, though. Kyle Johnson with possession. Springer Williams all over. Six seconds on the shot clock. You saw Kyle Johnson going to the net. Really no options there for a pass. The refs blow things down, though. London in yellow, Windsor in black. Cornell Brow getting set on the inbound. London not quite ready for that one. Jones moves it across half. This is Clinton Springer Williams on the near side. Cornell Brown takes the shot and misses, and a couple of shots so far, Chris, have just been, especially on the Windsor side, just being unable to find someone open. And you got a guy like Cornell Brown just taking the shot.
Well, I mean, you've got Cornell Brown shooting 1 of 7 right now. It's just not a very pretty shooting night for the Express, who are only shooting 28% so far.
Prosper fakes, avoids the swat. This is that one. It's tipped around, collected here by Kyle Johnson. Difficult night for Windsor's bigs as well. Very scrappy game, like we expected it to be. Edmond finds Criswell for 3. Brown did a good job to get back out there, and a fresh shot clock here for the Lightning.
Yeah, both teams just not really getting the shots that they want to show up here.
Kyle Johnson tries to do a step-around shot, misses. And another fresh shot clock here for the London Lightning. Criswell down low. Gets fouled, though. He'll go to the line.
Hey, it's something. It's not really been pretty from either team on the offensive end. At least London can point towards their shooting numbers being better. But again, Windsor Express now down to 25% shooting after that Brown miss, and only 8% from three-point land. And that's not going to cut it. Considering the job they're doing defensively, they've held London to only 21 points so far. You know, you make a couple buckets and you're way ahead in this game. They've done the defensive game of a team that should be up like 15 by now, but unfortunately the offensive end letting them down.
They haven't seen the offense that they've seen in literally any other first quarter of this season.
Yeah, I haven't looked up exactly what Windsor's first quarter numbers are, but I have to imagine that's one of their lowest scoring outputs of the year.
Royce White coming back into the game here for the Bolts. Looks like Criswell's making way. Yeah, the Express shooting 25% right now. London shooting 36%, but looks like that's even. It would appear to be less, I guess, just by watching the game. Neither team really able to get anything going in the offensive end. Clinton Springer-Williams nearly breaks Joel Friesen's ankles, but regardless, offensive foul.
Yeah, Joel Friesen there, I have to think he's leading the league in drawing charges, if that were a stat that people kept track of, as he's done a great job of forcing those charging calls.
Boyd with it. Here's Friesen in the post. Or my apologies, that's Royce White. Boyd tries to step around. Tipped. Clinton Springer-Williams goes for the dunk. Big slam.
And that was just a heads-up play by Clinton Springer-Williams to spot the opportunity for that steal. He came kind of out of nowhere there. I don't really blame that pass for landing in Springer-Williams' hands. It was a really great effort on his part.
Edmond with a step around at the very top here. And another dispossession. Tipped around. Friesen does a good job on the defensive end. Grabs it. And now here come the London Lightning back the other way, and looks like he stepped out of bounds there. That was Kyle Johnson.
Well, that's 3 straight turnovers there for the London Lightning on the offensive end. And, I mean, that's what we mean by the Express. If they had been scoring more in that first quarter, it could be up 10-15 the way they're playing defense right now.
A couple of changes here for the London Lightning. Looks like Ryan Anderson and Junior Cadogan coming into the game. Criswell and Kyle Johnson making way.
You know, on the one hand, we of course expected London to come out, you know, to a really fast start, and they haven't really done that. 21's a pretty low first quarter for the Lightning, but I don't think it's any shock that these two teams have really been battling down low. You see Julian Boyd add 2 more to his name with that bucket.
Jones steps across half here for the Express, down by 4. Giroux. Brandon Kearney there also come into the game. Prosper with the jumper, misses, collected by Boyd. Anderson at the very top, finds Joel Friesen, runs into a wall and Prosper, but London keep possession. There's Julian Boyd with the 3.
Huge three-pointer there from Julian Boyd, who again has been outstanding. He's been averaging over 40% from three-point land all year. And again, he doesn't have to take a ton of them, but he usually makes them when he does.
Brandon Kearney with the bounce pass to Giroux on the baseline, misses. Ball's tipped around. Somehow collected here by the London Lightning. White tries to step around. He will. Foul. Traveling.
Yeah, he took some NBA steps over to the rim there. Not quite able to walk as much in this league.
And the Express make a change as we see DeAndre Thomas coming onto the court for the first time at the Windsor Express this season.
First time in over a year, of course. Thomas had to sit out with that knee injury. So a big moment for the big man.
See DeAndre pushing over Joel Friesen to get things going. This is the matchup you're going to want to watch, folks. DeAndre Thomas versus Royce White, and that's going to be a foul against DeAndre.
Yeah, Thomas is going to argue this one, but he had his arm awfully high when he was backing down Royce White there. Had a bit of a forearm in White's chest, so good call by the refs on that one.
When it comes to Royce White, it's kind of been the discussion early on this season is how do you play defense against him? And when you look at a guy like DeAndre Thomas, who is probably the only other big that has been unmanageable by other teams, that kind of just seems like that's the only player that will really be able to take him on one-on-one.
Well, in terms of muscle mass, these are the only really guys like them in this league, where DeAndre Thomas we saw as that guy who could really back down any defender whenever he wanted, and then Royce White has been doing the same thing in his first couple games here, and now we get to see it's like the unbreakable sword, the unstoppable sword versus the unbreakable shield. One of them's got to give, so it'll be interesting to watch these two battle it out for a couple minutes at least here.
We'll work on a graphic for that for next game between the Express and Lightning. There's DeAndre getting the shot off. That's going to be a foul against Royce White.
Well, at the very least, they're going to foul out by the end of the quarter at this pace. So
we better get that graphic now.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on that in a hurry.
Of course, DeAndre, a very physical player, and that kind of comes with the territory when it comes to fouls. And anyone around the league has known DeAndre for that, I suppose.
One of the friendliest guys in the league, too.
Yeah, no doubt. And also, one of the most effective players. As you mentioned, they created that rule, more or less, as we, they created the 3-second rule.
Mr. 3-second rule,
yeah. They created the 3-second rule with DeAndre in mind. Let's just say that.
There were other bigs who were guilty of it, but I think none were quite as prominent as Thomas for having that ability to just back a guy down right up to the hoop.
I think if you were to come up with a list of players that have just been unstoppable in this league, you might kind of come up with, say, Gabe Freeman the first year. But then you're looking at, Royce White this year, if the pace continues, and DeAndre Thomas.
And it's because they're matchup problems. And the thing with the NBLC is, it's not the NBA, so usually if there's a guy who's a matchup problem, other teams are looking for him and offering them big money. So when you get a guy like that, it makes all the world of difference in the NBL, because there's not a ton of guys like that in the league. That's goaltending.
Goaltending against Clinton Springer-Williams brings London's total up to 30. The Express with 23. 6:38 here in the second quarter. Of course, if you're head coach Bill Jones, with DeAndre back, you've got Quinnell Brown, Darren Duncan, as you mentioned. The Express are going to be very, very scary in the Central Division come April, May, and beyond. Foul.
For the Express, don't sleep on a guy like Warren Ward. I know he hasn't had a great scoring night. Thomas just got a foul. He's back.
He was applauding the call there by the referee. I believe that would be what was discussed there. So. And just like that, DeAndre Thomas in quite a bit of foul trouble. His second, possibly more. Bill Jones with the head in the hands, and the refs having a quick discussion.
Ryan Anderson going to shoot the free throws here for the tactical shots.
With that effectiveness comes...
Well, that's always been the knock on Thomas, is that he can be a bit demonstrative on the court. So that time he's clapping a little too enthusiastically, and the ref hits him with a tech. But it's interesting with this Windsor lineup, because you've got Thomas, Brown, and Duncan. You've got the pieces that led to an NBLC championship before. And you add a guy like Warren Ward. I think his three-point shooting, when it's on, really spaces the floor for those guys. So it'll be interesting when they get all five pieces clicking.
And they're also very deep. I mean, Brandon Kearney out on the court playing defense against Ryan Anderson right now. He's been known around the league to...
He's a standout with Moncton last year.
Yeah, very, very effective player. Clinton Springer-Williams, good depth as he grabs the ball here. They've definitely got the pieces. to make a run. Here's Clinton Springer-Williams for three. He airballs it, moved around there. Ooh, great finish there by Prosper.
I believe that was Giroux there with the
Giroux.
soft touch, yeah. He's a guy who's also been excellent for this Express team, and really, it's hard to look at the Central Conference and find a weak link. I think this is the strongest that conference has ever been, in that all 5 teams are strong. I mean, you've got Niagara right now at the bottom of that conference, but are you looking at a team with Logan Stutz and Chris Commons and Sammy Zaglinski and Kirk Williams Jr. and saying, hey, that's the weak link here? Not really. I think this is 5 just really good teams, all at a really good spot, and no one's really run away with the conference just because the rest of the conference is that good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with obviously the new playoff structure and one team not making it. You'd want to say that the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans will be in tough come April, but I don't know if that's the team that people want to pick right now or not.
Well, I mean, they've been playing better than Niagara right now. They've been a very competitive team. They beat London last weekend, so I mean, no one really sleeping on Kitchener-Waterloo either. And that's what I mean by the parity right now between the 5 teams is just incredible. And think about the London Lightning. We've been talking about, you know, they've got this MVP candidate in Royce White. They've got a former Team Canada member with Junior Cadogan. And that's a team that's only 5-3 right now. And if they lost this one, would only be 5-4, and again, right back in the middle of things. So again, just a very, very, very evenly matched Central Conference. And really, you got to look out east too, and a team like Halifax that's undefeated. So there's a lot of interesting storylines in the early part of this season, and I think the Central Conference is going to be one of them.
The other team we haven't touched on yet in the Central is the Orangeville A's, and at the
They're
end
top of the conference.
They are top of the conference. At the end of last season, it was, you know, will Justin Moss return? That was kind of the first question. Then after that, let everything else kind of come. Justin Moss comes back, has been unbelievable. Player of the week, first week, and that is a huge piece, and good for Orangeville for keeping him around.
Well, we mentioned guys who are matchup problems earlier. Justin Moss is one of those guys, but I think the key pickup for them has been Relier Jefferson, because now when you really lock down on Moss, you have to leave Jefferson open, and it's kind of been, as opposed to Justin Moss and then maybe someone else shows up, now it's been a pick your poison situation on who do you leave open, Moss or Jefferson.
And that London Lightning game in Orangeville a couple weeks ago, or maybe just last week. No, it was a couple weeks ago. That was a very, very difficult game for the London Lightning, and you know, they've got the former London Lightning player Enrico Di Loretto who was shooting the threes, and you know, if you just kind of, they look like they're going to be a tough team to play against. There's Ryan Anderson for 3. It's going to be an interesting year in the Central Division. That's what we're trying to say. Jones with possession on the near side. It's DeAndre Thomas calling for it.
Get it to Thomas. Boyd can't hold him.
Enelson finds DeAndre, takes a step, and he gets his first basket.
And that was entirely set up. That was entirely set up. Regardless of which side it was, in trying to get that lob pass into Thomas, I'd just feed the big man right now, because there isn't really a guy on the floor for the Lightning who can hold him.
Ryan Anderson back-to-back.
Well, if you can't set it down low, you might as well shoot threes, and Ryan Anderson drills 2. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Such a smooth shooting stroke.
DeAndre steps in, misses that one though. Collected here by Joel Friesen. 37-27, London with a 10-point lead. 4.5 left. Anderson, oh my goodness.
He's heating up right now, Ryan Anderson. And they're going to call a timeout to see if he'll cool down a bit. But Anderson, I think that third shot was a total heat check shot. That was, I'm feeling it, I'm just going to shoot it and see what happens. And it went. And Ryan Anderson just helping the London Lightning keep that lead at a time where it looked like they might start losing it. It looked like Windsor was starting to get some momentum on offense. And then Ryan Anderson just throws 9 points on the board like that.
That caught us by surprise. We didn't expect that one to happen. But as we mentioned at the top of the show, you got a guy like Ryan Anderson who can heat up, and all of a sudden you've got a 40-27 lead.
Well, just like that, Ryan Henderson 4 for 4 from three-point land. He's got a perfect shooting night going right now with 15 points. And again, 9 of them just came in the last minute. So Ryan Anderson having a heck of a game here for the London Lightning.
40-27, 6 fouls to the Express, 5 for the Bolts so far in this second quarter.
Make some noise for your dance back.
And a very good crowd here at Budweiser Gardens. The upper bowl almost filled to capacity. Of course, looking ahead, the London Lightning had a very busy last week, or 2 weeks ago rather. Last week was lots of time off. Games kind of came hot and heavy for them, but looking ahead for next weekend, or looking ahead rather, they play Wednesday in Windsor, then get that weekend off, so that'll be big for the Lightning moving forward.
It was a weird stretch for them too, because they had 5 games in 8 days and then immediately get a week off. And so it was a good way for them to have to play Kitchener the first game and sort of get their feet back under them before what's been a very physical matchup between these two.
Jones finds a bit of space, switches it around. This is Warren Ward who's back on and gets the 3. Great answer back for the Express.
And if Ryan Anderson's going to be making 3s, someone on Windsor's got to step up and make a couple, and Warren Ward, a really good guy to look for that.
Garrett Williamson waits for a bit of movement. Here's Joel Friesen. Oh, great footwork there from Joel.
Joel Friesen, just an excellent play. He's a guy who doesn't need to force his buckets. He's able to just sort of work within the offense and get those points when he can.
Jones with a bit of space takes a jumper at the top of the key, misses. London unable to get the rebound. It will fall out of play, and London will keep the ball.
Fans, don't forget to get a 50-50 ticket during the
It's very weird to watch the Windsor Express and not see Chris Commons.
Yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces who aren't members of the Windsor Express anymore. Chris Commons, of course, the most notable. He was there for both of Windsor's championships. And I mean, this is a guy who's been in the league 4 years prior to this one. In all 4 years, he was named to one of the league's year-end all-star teams. So again, he was a critical piece for the Windsor Express for a long time. And definitely a new-look team here in Windsor. Not a lot of familiar faces aside from the 3 that were on that 2014-15 roster.
Bounce pass. Here we go. Junior Cadogan takes it up. Ball's tipped around. London unable to convert on that one. Jones switches. Enelson for 3. It's good.
Ellenson just too good from three-point land. Again, shooting over 40% on the season. And he's really a very gifted shooter. He's got some good bloodlines too. His brother, a member of the Detroit Pistons. So just across the border there, the brothers get to hang out.
Friesen finds Williamson at the hoop. Fantastic play by the London Lightning. Again, just seeing a bit of that ball movement. It's been kind of a shaky game so far for both teams. 44-33. London with the lead. Allenson stripped. Can't get the ball back, and they will follow to play. It looks like the Express will keep the ball with 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Happy birthday, Matt. Thanks for all the great work to you, buddy. Back in motion.
Inbound coming on the far side. Nick Evans up against Julian Boyd here. See Evans just throwing it at the hoop. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, I knew he drew a foul there, and that's one of the things that Nick Evans can cause, just because he's able to create those fouls simply by being big and tough. And that time, Julian Boyd, who I actually thought did a good job defending there, gets backed down by Evans, and Evans so strong that he's able, even if he doesn't get the points, he knows he's going to be able to go to the free throw line just purely on the size mismatch.
Nick Evans gets the first one to drop. His 3rd point on the night. Allenson leading the Express right now with 8 points, but if you look over at the London Lightning, Ryan Anderson leading with 15. Evans with that second shot. And the London Lightning are set to make a change here. It looks like Criswell is coming in, and Julian Boyd making way. Or maybe not. I see Boyd with a little bit of confusion there. He'll head off. Can't play with 6 guys on the court.
I think that's a rule.
Have to look it up. 2.5 left in this second quarter and first half. London with possession here. They've got the lead.
Ooh.
Very rough there against Garrett Williamson, and he's going to go to the line. No basket there, obviously.
Yeah, Nick Evans, I think that foul wasn't so much about stopping the bucket as it was, sending a bit of a message there. He didn't injure him. He didn't do anything too physical there, but it just says if you're going to go to the rim, if you're going to try and play inside, you're going to get bumped. And I like some of those hard fouls every once in a while, and Nick Evans certainly does provide quite a few of them.
With that foul, both teams now at 12 fouls each so far in this one. Williamson drains the second shot. 46-35. Jones moving it up here for the Express on the near side. Waiting for someone to break to the hoop. It looks like Cornell Brown has come towards him. Jones takes it back. Steps around Anderson. Fakes. Loses it. Anderson off to Friesen. 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Friesen takes it all the way to the hoop. Oh my goodness, fantastic finish.
Just the ability to adjust midair like that by Friesen and still be able to finish. An excellent play from the Alberta grad.
Windsor want to get something going here. This is Jones. He drains it as he heads to the hoop. Great vertical there on number 11.
Yeah, he's a smaller guard, but he really doesn't play small, and that's a really big key here. He's been one of the better performers for the Windsor Express all season long.
Criswell waits for some movement. Cadogan takes it. Tries to step around Jones. He'll get it. Jumper. He'll get that too.
And that time you see a play where the size is a bit of a problem for Jones, and that time he just got completely taken out by the screen.
Jones with it. Off to Warren Ward. A minute to go here in the first half. Williamson takes it. Misses the slam. Oh, the foot back. You don't see that every day.
That would have been a new one.
And the Express bench not happy with that. Hopefully, Stu, the team photographer, got a picture of Garrett's face after he tried to put it back.
Well, I haven't seen anything like that since a dunk contest or something where they purposely do that. Garrett Williamson getting creative midair.
50 seconds to go in this first half. Jones with it. Ellenson shifting out. He's found at the top. Open for three. Gets it to drop.
Great screen by Cornell Brown there, setting a pick on Joel Friesen and just completely took him out. And Ellenson able to drill that three again.
Cadogan steps around. Bounce pass. Anderson. His no-look pass goes nowhere. Brown. That's going to be a foul against Garrett Williamson.
I actually thought Williamson did a good job defending there. He looked like the ball just went right off his elbow. I don't think there was any attempt at a swat or anything by Williamson.
Clinton Springer-Williams coming in and Warren Ward making way. Also looks like Prosper's coming in here for Nick Evans. 10-point game, 24 seconds on the shot clock and game clock as Cornell Brown gets set to go to the line. Express going 8 for 11 from the line so far, make that 9 for 12. Cuts the deficit down to 9. And second shot's good as well.
You know, Cornell Brown had a tough shooting night so far tonight, but he's been able to still have some big impact on the defensive end. And it's kind of important for this team that he stopped shooting when he realized he was cold, because that allowed the hotter shooters like Ellenson to start getting it going.
Cadogan steps around. Anderson up against Springer-Williams as the shot clock expires and game clock. That'll wrap up that first half of action. 50-42, the London Lightning with the lead here. A very scrappy first half, Chris.
Yeah, and I thought it was a very physical game from both sides. I mean, this game was always going to be a battle, and I think the ways in which it has been is a little bit surprising. We figured London would come out to their usual huge first quarter, and instead it was Windsor who I felt was winning the first quarter in terms of their defensive play, but unfortunately couldn't get any offense of their own and end up behind. The first quarter was a real opportunity for Windsor to come ahead and start the game strong that unfortunately they didn't capitalize on. and they've been playing from behind ever since. London got it back together in that second quarter, and now they've got the 8-point lead. It's only an 8-point lead. Obviously, there's plenty of time for Windsor to come back, but London's starting to show some more signs of life as the game gets going, and that's got to scare Coach Bill Jones. But they got a chance to go in the locker room, make some more adjustments, and get that chess match going again. And again, Bill Jones is a 2-time champion in this league. He'll know what to do.
Perfect. All right, we will see you after halftime. Again, after one half of play, rather. London 50, Windsor 42. And we're back here at Budweiser Gardens. The London Lightning with a 50-42 lead after a scrappy first half of action against the visiting Windsor Express. Good afternoon. My name is Marty Thompson, and I'm joined here by Chris Croucher. Chris, considering what we saw in that first half, what can we expect in the second?
A lot of the same. I think both teams are going to be physical. I think London started to get some plays that were working in that second quarter, so it's going to be up to Windsor to really respond. Wally Ellenson really kept them in the game with his three-point shooting, and it could have been a lot worse had it not been for that. I think the DeAndre Thomas experiment in the first half, we're probably going to see another sequence of that at some point in the game as we start this second half here.
Junior Cadogan with possession here for the Lightning. Again, that first half for London, it was scrappy, but overall good. You see Julian Boyd with the slam.
Oh, baby, huge dunk there from Julian Boyd right over Nick Evans. Great job by the London big man.
Fantastic one-handed slam. Great way to start this second half and third quarter. We're 30 seconds in. Quinnell Brown with the answer-back jumper.
Well, again, that jumper right there, it kind of quiets the crowd. The crowd started getting on their feet after that jumper, well, it was a jump, but that Julian Boyd dunk. And it was really important for Brown to get that answer and not let this crowd get back into it.
As I was saying before, that Julian Boyd slam, which was good.
Very pause-worthy. Go on.
Yeah, that was worthy of a pause. Still a very good first half. If you're Kyle Julius, they ended up outscoring the Express 21-17 in the first quarter, and then 29-25 rather in the second. So that second quarter, it's a little bit extra scoring, but the defense wasn't there. But again, an overall good first half if you're Kyle Julius and the Lightning. Evans with possession. Bit of a double team there.
Yeah, it was a nice help defense there from Cadogan.
Space here for Jones. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ward, 2 seconds now. Enelson will get it off in time. It's very close considering.
Great help defense from the London Lightning, though, and a lot of movement and communication. That was a very good defensive sequence by the Bolts.
Anderson steps around, takes it up. Great play there from number 44.
And now that's 3 times we've seen the London Lightning a little too easily able to drive right to the rim there. So they're going to have to find something on the Windsor Express side to stop that play from happening.
Nick Evans. Julian Boyd playing defense there. Evans with the jumper. Fadeaway's no good. Cadogan running the floor here. Anderson, nice dribble. 10 minutes to go in the third. Shifts it off here. This is Garrett Williamson. Great passing here for the Bolts. Joel Friesen can't get the three to drop. Ball movement has still been there for London. 13 assists so far in this one. The Express with just 7. Evans backs in on Joel Friesen. This is Warren Ward for 3. The three-point shooter gets that one to drop.
Again, Warren Ward, a guy who, when he's playing against Coach Julius, really likes to make his shots. And I feel like the three-point shooting is something that's been missing from the Windsor Express game. They really need it to space the floor so that London can't bring that help defense like they've been doing all game long. They really need to be able to space the floor and create that space. So Warren Ward being able to make those shots could be a pretty big difference for the Express, but unfortunately hasn't really been able to get it going.
Friesen gets set on the inbound on the near side. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Cadogan takes it. 9:20 left in this quarter. Julian Boyd can't get that three to drop. And the Express quickly come down the court. This is Warren Ward. Evans gets the space. Brown. And now off to Enelson. Can't get that one to drop. It's tipped. Foul. You see Nick Evans going to the floor there. 56-47. Foul is going to go against Julian Boyd. Keep in mind, that's Boyd's 4th foul.
Boyd was in foul trouble last night as well. That's not good for the London Lightning. Luckily, they haven't had to play Royce White a ton in this game. So you got Royce coming in rather fresh. He didn't play much in that second quarter. So you get to have a nice fresh big man coming to the game playing against Nick Evans here.
White sitting on 3 fouls. Evans gets that one to drop.
You have to think all 3 came against DeAndre Thomas.
Friesen with the step around, doing it all himself, and one from Joel Friesen.
And again, Joel Friesen, one of those guys, he doesn't need to force any of his points, but he just picks his moments perfectly, and that time able to connect and get 2 points there for the London Lightning with the opportunity to add one more.
Friesen averaging 10 points per game this season. Been very good from the field so far. As you said, Chris, just London with the depths on the wings, which is key. We've seen Lightning teams in the past not have that, and how that affects them later on in the season. So it's good to see that they've got that depth early on.
Well, you can almost tell where they invested their money with some of their guys. I mean, you've got Cadogan to run the point. You've got Royce White and Julian Boyd in the middle, and then they just filled the roster pretty much with a lot of wing players. And there's another one of them right there, Garrett Williamson, another one of those versatile wings able to connect.
Jones with the ball at the very top. Ward gets the foul and gets it to drop.
And that was a bit of a silly foul there from Williamson. He just kind of reached out and touched the hip there of Warren Ward, and Ward, knowing the contact was coming, able to drill the shot and then sell the call. Great job from the formerly London forward there.
So Warren Ward goes to the line with a chance to make this a 4-point play for the Express. We're 4 minutes into this third quarter. Ward misses it. 60-52, London still with the lead. Held the lead for pretty much all of this one except for the very, very beginning. White finds Williamson, foul, as Williamson goes to the hoop. Looks like it wasn't a shooting foul, though. And that foul will go against Maurice Jones. 3 fouls for the Express, 2 for the Lightning so far in this quarter. Inbound coming. Anderson, quick 3, gets it to drop.
And Anderson's still hot. That makes him 5 of 6 from three-point land tonight. He's really feeling it. If I'm the London Lightning, I'm just feeding him the ball right now.
Jones with the ball on the far side. Top of the key, jumper, gets it to drop.
Probably could have gotten a foul call there too, as Junior Cadogan got a little bit rough there on the defense.
Cadogan with it here. Hands it off to Anderson. There's Royce White. Friesen for 3. Misses. Stipped around, collected by White at the very top, looking around. Hands it off. Here's Anderson. Tries to get the bump. Won't get the shot.
Almost got
drop,
the bank.
Very, very close. Anderson goes to the line.
Well, even so, you miss it, but you at least get to go to the line for 3, and that was really set up by a very heads-up play by Royce White, who was almost stalking behind Ward while holding the ball. And then as soon as Anderson came around White, Ward had nowhere to go, and White fed Anderson the ball. It was really nicely set up by those 2 players.
Ryan Anderson goes to the line here.
Anderson, kind of an interesting guy because he's the member of the London Lightning who's been on both sides of the 401 rivalry. Of course, Anderson won a title in 2014-15 as a member of the Windsor Express. He's also a former Ottawa Skyhawk, if you want to throw back to that former franchise there. There's not a lot of Skyhawks left in the league, I would think.
You had Eric Kibbe last year.
Yep.
For the London Lightning. Another former Skyhawk. (66-54). Ryan Anderson with those free throws gives him now 22 points on the day. Fantastic performance for number 44. Number 11 in black there, Jones, drops that one.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. They let him have that shot, and Jones is a pretty good shooter. I don't know if he's a guy that I'd want to challenge his shooting ability.
Anderson steps around, tries to find a bit of space. Oh my goodness, he can do everything.
Oh my, what a play from Ryan Anderson, who's just having an excellent game here for the London Lightning. That's going to give him 23 points on the game so far for the London Lightning. He's the leading scorer in this game.
Jones tripped up there by Anderson. 6:20 left in the quarter, 68-56. London still at the lead. Bill Jones barking some orders if if you're Bill Jones, Chris, obviously trying to limit Anderson's shooting. But what else are you trying to do if you're the Windsor Express to try to get back into this one?
Well, one of the things they haven't been doing as much is going inside, and I understand you can't always go inside, as Ryan Anderson with the very deep three. That was a bit optimistic. But when you've got Royce White sitting at 3 fouls, Julian Boyd at 4 fouls, Chris Well's been in foul trouble in previous games. He's fine in this game. But I'd be really trying to force one of White or Boyd to get completely out of the game, or even have them both sit on the bench. I'd be going inside and seeing if I can get one of those guys to pick up that extra foul.
White to Cadogan. Williamson up against. There you see Joel Friesen with the 3, gets that one to drop.
And that's a clutch 3 there from Joel Friesen. Again, the London Lightning have not taken their foot off the gas pedal. They're really trying to close out this quarter and then close out the half from there. And again, this is what we saw when they played KW, was 4 complete quarters. And so far, 2.5 quarters are being played very well by the London Lightning. And I think that was a foul just before the media timeout here.
Well, you know, we mentioned it there at the top, but Kyle Julius looking for that complete 4-quarter performance. But really, when you say that, you're just saying don't slip up in the 4th.
And yeah, that's the problem that the London Lightning had earlier in the year. It's become less of a problem as the year goes on. And I'd even argue that part of it is because they played those 5 games in 8 days. That means you only have 3 practice days in that whole mess, right? So I think for the London Lightning, it was a matter of getting that defensive game on track, getting their communication going, making sure guys know what to do, getting that chemistry built up from guys learning what each other like to play like. And so for the London Lightning, they've got that chemistry, they've got that, and in the 4th quarter now, instead of a collapse because people are still trying to figure out where to be, now they know exactly where they're supposed to be. I mean, look at a guy like Kyle Johnson, who came in 1 game into the season right as the Lightning hit that stretch of 5 games in 8 days. I mean, that's a guy he had only practiced 3 times maybe. He was still learning people's names and was being asked to understand everything about the system and what they do defensively. And that's a very big challenge that the London Lightning, I think, performed well in spite of. And so now you've got that together, you've got that clicking. And I think this was the test. KW is a fast-paced team. They kind of play the same way the Lightning do. This was the test because this is the team that's not going to let you play that way. And when things break down, when your style of play breaks down, how do you respond? And London's has not only responded, but they've excelled in that time.
And other than Kyle Johnson, I mean, roster turnover this early on in the season isn't too common. But you know, if you're able to keep the same group of players together throughout a regular season, we've seen that with the Lightning before, specifically that 2012-13 team, where you know you limit that turnover that NBLC teams are accustomed to, or you know management are almost expecting. But if you're able to keep that crew together, especially if you're a good team, you know, good things can happen too, for sure.
I think for London, having that continuity of having Williamson and Anderson back is big. And those are 2 guys who've really become a part of this franchise, both on and off the court.
Cadogan tries to step around, and that's going to be a foul against the Windsor Express.
Yeah, Jones didn't quite get his feet set there, so Cadogan basically gets bumped, and I believe the Express are over the limit, so he's going to go to the line.
And that would be correct. 7 fouls now for the Express. Junior Cadogan at the line. Former national team player. It'll be good for the Lightning to get some time off. Of course, taking on Windsor on Wednesday. Then they get that next weekend off. So their next game after that won't take place until the 26th. They'll be away to the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. They'll be back home, next home game, on the 28th of January. So you know, the games came pretty hard and fast at the very beginning, but the team rewarded in the second half of January with a very nice schedule to round out the first full month rather, of NBLC play. Royce White, at the very top, looking for a bit of space. Switches it off. Junior Cadogan, deep three, misses. 73-61. Jones switches it off. Here's Nick Evans. Gets that one to drop.
And that's a nice shot there from Evans. A lot of people forget he can hit that top of the key jumper, and Evans able to connect. That's one of the things that really made him make that leap in ability. We saw his year one where he's really just sort of a piece off the bench for the Island Storm back then, but when he started making those top of the key jumpers, that's when he became a legitimate starter in the league. And that's going to be Clinton Springer-Williams with a big three.
The three from Clinton Springer-Williams sends the London Lightning into a timeout, 73-66. If you're Kyle Julius, what are you saying to your team right now?
Don't let them back. This is a case of the Windsor Express getting way too close for comfort if you're the London Lightning. You've had a really good handle on this game. Don't lose it now. Everything has kind of been going to plan in this third quarter, but a little bit of a loose defense there at the end, and Clinton Springer-Williams able to connect. And that's one of those ones where if you're Coach Julius, this is more of a tune-up timeout. This isn't one where you have to completely change everything. You don't need to overhaul it. You don't need to take the engine out and put it back in. You know, this is one where it's just a little tune-up, a little tweak, and go over some plays, make sure everything's executing, and maybe he sees something that the Lightning aren't doing on defense that they could be, that could stop the Windsor Express. The longer you leave a team like the Express in the game, the more you give them a chance to come back. This is a team, I know they have had a bunch of turnover, but they still have guys who know how to get it done. They still have Quinnell Brown. They still have DeAndre Thomas. They have guys who know exactly how to get a team back into a game like this. And you don't ever want to let a team with that kind of experience and that kind of history to remain in a game longer than you want them to be. And this is going to be a bit of a problem. This is a case where the coach is just saying, keep the foot on the gas, don't let them back in. Close out 4 complete quarters.
The Express outscoring London in this third quarter 24-23. Also really bumped up their shooting numbers, now shooting 43%, 24 for 55. Edmond carrying the ball here for the Bolts. 3:36 on the clock. Friesen finds White. White up against Evans. Traveling.
You know, this Evans-White battle has been interesting. I thought White got the better of Evans quite easily in their first matchup, if I'm being honest. But Evans has put up a much better effort here. I think Evans knew what to be ready for with White, and he's been a lot better in this game.
Maurice Jones off to Springer-Williams for 3. Gets the second one to drop in a row.
Well, an unlikely hero here. Clinton Springer-Williams perhaps being urged on by the fact that he's in his hometown, able to drill another crucial three-pointer, and just like that, it's only a 4-point lead.
This is the third quarter that the Windsor Express needed to get back into this one. 3 minutes to go, and the Express are down by 4. Kyle Johnson with a step back, but that's going to be a foul.
I think they're calling out of bounds, actually. He took that one, he put the 1 foot back to push off, and they're going to say he clipped his heel on the line there. And that's a problem we see on this court. It seems to happen here a lot more than other places with the thin out of bounds line as opposed to the big borders we usually see on a lot of courts.
Evans with the ball up top, hands it off to Jones. This is Kearney in motion. Gets the shot off. No good. Rims out. Edmond now off to White. Royce White up against Clinton Springer-Williams. You see Evans trying to get involved, and they're going to foul White.
And that's a good job by Royce White there. It works both ways. We mentioned how if I was Windsor, I'd be going inside trying to see if I can get White in foul trouble. Works both ways. Nick Evans is not exactly clean on the foul ledger. That's going to be his 3rd foul there, I believe. And just like that, Royce White to the line. It's
the first one to drop. 74-69, 2:29 left in the quarter. Royce drains that one, and DeAndre Thomas is coming back into the game, replacing Nick Evans. And Thomas on 2 fouls. Technical is in there. Just keep in mind that Royce White is on 3 fouls as well. Jones steps around Brown, and that's going to be a foul. Looks like the pick and roll play from Quinnell Brown was not good according to the referees.
Not sure exactly what Quinnell Brown did on that play, but I think the refs are saying when he was setting that screen, he was just a bit too rough. That's going to be 4 on Quinnell Brown. That could be a problem as well for the Windsor Express, because when they go with certain lineups, as they have right now, in fact, Quinnell Brown can sometimes be playing the 4 spot.
Kyle Johnson drains the 3, will not get the foul call, though.
Well, Kyle Johnson has just been one of the better three-point shooters for this team. This is the guy who played for Commissioner Magley back when Magley was coaching the Brampton A's. And Kyle Johnson, again, one of the most gifted three-point shooters in the league.
Clinton Springer-Williams takes it down low. Foul call, and he's going to go to the line. Had a bit of space up top, and he's been hot from beyond the arc, but tried to mix things up here. You mentioned Clinton Springer-Williams with his 3rd team now in the NBLC.
Doing a nice tour of Ontario.
London, Niagara, and Windsor. In that order.
He's got 12 points in this game. He's actually a leading scorer for the Windsor Express, mostly on the strength of those 2 3-pointers we saw earlier in the game. And he's a guy who's a very good defender, but his offense is usually solid but not spectacular. But we have seen him have those big performances. The home opener as a member of the River Lions last year, he really put the dagger in the London Lightning during that game.
Royce White hands it off. Anderson for 3. Can't get that one to drop. Anderson looking to add to his game-high 25 points. Maybe he will down low. Yes, he will.
Great pass there from Royce White to find Ryan Anderson down low. Ryan Anderson having himself a game here. That's 27 points for the former Windsor Express.
DeAndre Thomas up against Royce White in the post. White with the swat. Too aggressive, according to the referees.
Yeah, and that first swipe was clean, but then he got blinders as soon as he saw the ball kind of bouncing away from Thomas and just kind of went for another swipe. That's going to be 4 on Royce White.
14 seconds on the shot clock, 1:16 on the game clock. Jones with a bounce pass to Brown. Here's Clinton Springer-Williams at the very top. DeAndre back into Royce. Finds some space, gets it to drop. No basket.
They're going to say he stuck his elbow into White when he turned the corner there. And Thomas, very unhappy with that. He better be careful or he's going to have his second tech.
Offensive foul.
The DeAndre Thomas experience.
Demonstrative was a good word that you used. That was good. Good word.
Well, yeah, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he's very demonstrative when he's on the court, you know.
Joel Friesen trying to find some space here. There's Kyle Johnson with it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Foul.
And Windsor is absolutely livid with the refereeing right now. And that's going to be a pretty important one as you get to send Ryan Anderson to the free throw line for 3 shots.
A little bit of a team meeting here for the Express as DeAndre Thomas calls over Clinton Springer-Williams.
Again, just about everyone on the Express better be careful of a technical here. The refs have already handed out one, clearly aren't shy about it. And I'm sure they're feeling a little justified with that Ryan Anderson ball don't lie miss right there.
Anderson with his second shot. 81-71, back to a 10-point game with 44 seconds left in the third. Anderson gets that one to go. Maurice Jones brings it across half. Quinnell Brown back down to Thomas. See what he can do. He can get that one to drop.
Again, very, very aware of where he is in relation to the basket. And he's got that soft touch to be able to finish those plays. It's just a matter of staying in the game on foul trouble right now.
And the Lightning are going to take a little bit of time off the clock here. 13 seconds on the game clock, it's 7 on the shot clock.
And they're going to give the and one there. Maurice Jones called for a blocking foul.
And
Joel
bit of a discussion
Friesen
here. Can't see exactly what's happening. bit of a discussion here between, looks like DeAndre Thomas and some members of the Lightning and the referees in there. Regardless, London going to the line in the form of Edmund. 12 seconds on the clock here. Shot clock has expired.
You know, Frederick Edmund had a really big game last night. 12 points, 14 rebounds in that KW game. And there's going to be a miss there, but he's a guy who really fought his way onto this roster. He's a rookie pro, and he's had a pretty good start to his career with the Lightning.
Jones steps around. That's going to be a foul against Royce White. Kind of got caught up in him there. And that's going to be a bit of trouble here for Royce White. That is his 5th foul. 3 seconds left in the third. And Jones going to the line. So White out, Criswell in. And that changes things a bit.
You know, I know Windsor likes to play that half-court game, and usually a slower pace is to their benefit. But, you know, there's only 1 quarter left to play. This slower pace is helping the Lightning close out a bit here. So if the Windsor Express want to keep going, they're going to want to push the play just a little bit. All these fouls are missing your free throws isn't good either. You got to make your free throws, kids.
Bernal Brown takes a shot at the last second there. And that'll end this third quarter of play. 84-73. London keep the lead here heading into the final frame. We'll be right back here at Budweiser Gardens. Brandon Kearney getting set to inbound the ball here and start this fourth quarter play at Budweiser Gardens. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. London in yellow, Windsor in black. The Express with some work to do here in the final frame. Quinnell Brown up against Ryan Anderson. Edmund making things difficult here for Brown. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Great pass to find Jones, who takes it up, misses. It's collected here by Julian Boyd. London get their first possession of the fourth quarter. Here's Edmund. Kyle Johnson with it as well. Runs into a bit of a hole there, and that's going to be traveling against Johnson. It's a good defense by the Express to start off this fourth quarter.
Excellent, good, tough defense there. That was Brandon Kearney and DeAndre Thomas doing it. And again, Thomas in a bit of foul trouble, and he was very, very disciplined defensively on that one. So great job by the Windsor big man. I really like that he just waited for the help defense on that one too. Thomas obviously not a great one-on-one guy with a guy like Kyle Johnson, but instead he just held his own, and then when the help defense came, they forced a turnover.
Great pass into the corner to Brandon Kearney. Unable to convert that one though. Wonder if the Express might be getting a little tired here. Seen a lot of these guys log most of the minutes here tonight. Well, they've got Campbell in. There's one fresh face, and Kearney as well, but you have to wonder with Quinnell Brown how many minutes he's been logging. Traveling against Edmond, so the ball will go the other way.
Not often you see back-to-back traveling calls, so again, some good defense from Windsor, forcing another turnover. And this is the way you get back into a game. Force some turnovers and then come back down and get some back. It's going to be important to get this possession right here.
84-73, 10:30 on the clock. Quick pass to Kearney. Tries to move around Anderson. That might be another traveling. No, it's going to be a foul. Foul against Anderson.
Are they giving them the continuation? I think they're talking about it.
Refs having a quick powwow here.
We know what Bill Jones thinks. Can hear him up here. He wants the end one.
And that's going to be no basket. That one foul, though. First foul of the quarter. So Anderson with his fourth foul. Inbound coming. Down low to DeAndre Thomas. Up against Julian Boyd. 3 Lightning players come out. Edmond with the swat, but that's going to be a foul.
And there you see the matchup problems DeAndre Thomas presents. Julian Boyd unable to match up there. I think they might have given that to Boyd. I don't know if that's the guy who committed it. But either way, DeAndre Thomas creating those matchup problems, and just like that, both Edmond and Friesen had to collapse and provide the help defense just because Thomas is so difficult to handle. And that's the impact that DeAndre Thomas can have. And even in games where he doesn't put up a ton of points, his mere presence opens up a lot of things for the Express. So this is a difference maker who's back in with the Windsor Express.
And goes 2 for 2 from the line as well. It's going to be a huge impact on the Central Division and the Windsor Express. Anderson. Julian Boyd got some space down low, runs into DeAndre Thomas and loses the ball. 84-75. Windsor looking to cut into this lead. This is Campbell, takes it up. Ball goes down, and London ball.
Yeah, not a wise shot from Campbell. We should mention when DeAndre Thomas was shooting those foul shots, it was Julian Boyd who committed the foul, and that they gave that foul too. So that's 5 on Boyd, 5 on Royce White. So London's front court in a bit of trouble here.
A couple of quick changes here for the Express. Jones comes in for Campbell, and Nick Evans comes in for DeAndre Thomas. Under 10 to go here. Anderson across half. This is Edmond. Now to Julian Boyd. Lots of space up top. Can't drain the 3. Kyle Johnson with the rebound, but there's a foul call. It's going to go against London. So it's going to go against Johnson, his second. And the Express with the ball here. And just like that, London with 3 fouls in this quarter. Crucial quarter. Express with 0. Jones steps around. And that's going to be another foul, this time going to Nick Evans.
Nick Evans, a bigger guy, and that time it was just Evans had his elbow sticking out just a bit, and simply due to height, it ended up catching Joel Friesen, and that's going to be an opportunity here for the Lightning.
Friesen sprints down. Moves around the pick. Bit of space down low. Hits the bottom of the backboard, and now here come the Windsor Express with a 3-on-1 here. Springer Williams cannot connect. And now here come the London Lightning. Julian Boyd. (86-75), 9:12 on the clock. Timeout by the Windsor Express.
And that play right there was really well done. First, you've got on the defensive end, Ryan Anderson pulled the rug out a bit on Clinton Springer Williams. Williams was getting ready for the contact, thinking Anderson was going to drive the charge. Anderson just moved out of the way, pulled the little matador move, and ended up knocking the ball out of Springer Williams' hands. And then to find Boyd and Friesen down on the other end, That's a nice highlight reel play to get momentum back in the London Lightning's favor. There have been a couple sequences there that I know they weren't that happy about, so that gets the momentum back in their corner. And right now, Bill Jones is coming up with something. He's telling guys, yes, the refs don't seem to have Windsor's favor on the foul calls. It's been pretty even, but those last two kind of hurt the Express a bit, so it's just a matter of staying disciplined, don't commit any more fouls, and see if you can crawl back into this game that is slowly getting ahead of them. If there's one bright spot, it is that Boyd picked up that 5th foul, because Boyd and White both sitting at 5 leaves that front court very, very empty. We haven't seen a lot of Criswell in this game either, so all of a sudden you've got to put a lot of that burden on Boyd and White, and they're 1 foul away each from being out of the game. That's going to be a problem as we go forward. Looking at some of those guys with foul troubles as we get into the later stages of this game, you of course have Boyd and White at 5, but for London, that's really the only guys in any sort of foul trouble. Windsor Express, you've got 4 on Maurice Jones, which really snuck up on you. You didn't really notice him pick up that many. Quinnell Brown with 4 and Nick Evans with 4. I think Evans has been the guy who's impressed me with his discipline, because he had 3 well before halftime and has only picked up 1 the rest of the way, and that was on the screen he set that caught Joel Friesen. So good job by Nick Evans to keep himself in this game. If White and Boyd can't play and Evans can be in the game, that's going to be a difference maker. You can just go inside all day, and I think that's what Windsor might be thinking about here.
And here we are, Windsor Express with the ball. Jones.
Evans has a mismatch there. Didn't find him.
Evans comes back out up top. Springer Williams, 3 seconds on the shot clock. He's got to shoot, and it will airball it, and collected there by Julian Boyd. Big stop here for the London Lightning, 86-75. 8:40 left in this one. London looking to get back-to-back wins again. 3rd time this season they would if they were able to win tonight. Jones moves around Anderson. It's Nick Evans down low, takes a shot, misses. Tipped in there by Evans eventually. Makes it 86-77.
You see Julian Boyd can't be getting too far in, because then you end up with the foul problems. He has to kind of back off. Evans able to go full bore and get that. Kyle Johnson, though, very athletic layup, and very nice play for the London Lightning guard.
Warren Ward waiting to come onto the court here for the Express. Jones takes it, and that's going to be a foul against Edmond. They blew it down there on the far side. So Ward coming on. It looks like he's going to replace Quinton Springer Williams.
Some great minutes from Springer Williams. He's got 14 points in this game, and really those 2 3-pointers he had in the 3rd quarter were a big momentum swing in Windsor's favor that helped them keep this lead within reach, as opposed to just being blown out here. So a great job by the Londoner for the Windsor Express.
Warren Ward drains the 3.
And another London kid able to drill a shot against his hometown team. Great job by Warren Ward. And if he can get shooting, I think I've said this 3 times during this game, but if he can get going, you open up that space for guys like Nick Evans, maybe DeAndre Thomas, to really work on the inside.
Here's Julian Boyd going inside, misses that one though. Great defense there by Nick Evans. Jones switches it. Here's Kearney moving along. It looks like he stepped out of bounds. 88-80. Another stop for London.
A stop they really needed. It's only an 8-point game right now. You know, it's one of those things when it's 10, I feel like there's a big difference between 10 and 8. So if you're the London Lightning and you let that lead turn into a 6, that's even further away. But I feel like 10 is the disheartening number. That's where you're the opposing team and you go double digits, oh man. You know, in terms of the mental side of the game, I really do think that's a difference.
Could make it 3 though with Ryan Anderson and Joel Friesen out on the court. Could always hit that 3. Refs blow things down again. 7:10 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Change coming up for the Express. Looks like Quinnell Brown is coming out, and it appears that Giroux is coming in. Here's Julian Boyd. He waits. He can shoot from there. He's going to take another step down low, and great defense again there by Nick Evans. Managing to take Julian Boyd out of this one for now. Kearney into the corner. Giroux for three in the corner, misses. Tipped. Fresh shot clock here for the Express. Bill Jones barking some instructions here. Warren Ward steps around, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Nick Evans moves down low. Step, shot, gets it to go barely there by Warren Ward.
Friendly little roll there, just kind of stopped its rotation as soon as it hit that little gap between the back of the backboard and the back of the rim.
Ryan Anderson gets the three to drop on the other end.
Huge shot there for Anderson. Now with 31 points, he adds his name to the list of top 10 scoring performances in London Lightning history. Top 20, pardon me.
Unbelievable performance from Ryan Anderson today. Giroux with the three, gets that one to drop. 91-85. It's a bit of a shootout here in the fourth.
Well, Windsor not going anywhere, and again, now it's only a 6-point game. Slowly but surely, the Windsor Express have been just picking their points where they get it and being able to come back in this game. And you got to give them credit. You never saw them panic. You never saw them, chucking threes at any point. They really just played controlled and have earned their way back into this game.
Kyle Johnson comes out of the game. Looks like Garrett Williamson's come back in. Cadogan to Boyd. Garrett gets a touch there. Anderson for three, the hot hand. Misses that one. Jones hands it off to Warren Ward. 5.5 left in this one. Ward steps, takes it up. Oh, Giroux cannot finish that one. A tough play nonetheless. Cadogan. Now here's Ryan Anderson. Stripped to the ball. Ward collects. He's got Giroux with him. Tipped. Too many passes. Some back and forth stuff here. London with the ball. Julian Boyd again.
Silly foul there from Kearney. There was no reason to go for that hack. And Julian Boyd, he's flexing on the Windsor Express there after that huge dunk. Great play from the London big man.
Fantastic stuff from Julian Boyd. Another big dunk. Gets the Budweiser Gardens crowd back into it here, 93-85.
If you're Kearney, though, and you're going for that foul, you got to foul him harder than that. You can't just give him a slap on the wrist and let him dunk it right in front of you,
Boyd to make it a 3-point play. He's got 11 rebounds. And now he's got 21 points. 5 minutes. Ward to Kearney. Takes the three. They need a shot like that, but unfortunately did not drop. So London with a chance to bring this lead back up to double digits. And it's going Windsor way.
Gonna call him for the carry there.
So DeAndre Thomas coming back into the game. Looks like Nick Evans is making way. So DeAndre, his last cuts here, trying to make the difference here for the Express. The 3-3 Express looking to get above 500 with a win here. DeAndre misses that one, and there's a foul call.
That's going to be a 6th on Boyd.
And Boyd comes out, and it looks like Royce White is coming back in. Royce on 5.
Yeah, this could be a short stay. Again, DeAndre Thomas just seems to create fouls wherever he goes, and Royce White sitting on 5 right now. He's going to have to play very under control against the much bigger DeAndre Thomas.
94-85. DeAndre at the line with 2 shots here. And he misses that one.
Got to make your free throws, kids.
That's Thomas's first miss from the line today. He's now gone 4 for 5. It's getting loud in here. Misses that one too, now 4 for 6, but a big rebound there by Jones. Windsor with a chance to make up the points that were lost on the line there. Thomas gets it, moves in, too easy, and you saw White had to give him a bit of space. White knows that he's on 5. 94-87. 4 minutes now. Cadogan finds White. Could hit the three, elects not to, gives it off to Garrett Williamson. Now back to White. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Kyle Johnson spins, fades, misses. Big miss for the London Lightning. Here's Warren Ward. Bounce pass down low to Thomas. Thomas up against White. Foul. Windsor. London ball.
And that could be a tide turner here. The Express were getting themselves closer. Only down 7. And again, they just haven't been able to get over that hump. They got it within 6, and they've been sitting there for just a bit. Now the time starts to be your enemy if you're the Windsor Express.
3:30 on the clock here. Cadogan. Kyle Johnson with a bounce pass to White. It's tipped. Collected here by Warren Ward. He runs all the way down, gets that one to drop somehow, and he gets the and one. So Warren Ward going to the line to make this a 4-point game. Ryan Anderson coming on, Kyle Johnson making way. So Warren Ward at the line here. Again, the former London Lightning player. Get this one shot coming here. Gets it to drop. Huge play for the Express. Their bench is into it. 3:20 on the clock. Anderson tries to step around. That's going to be a foul against Warren Ward. The Express now up to 5 fouls. London with 6 in this quarter.
That's another weak foul that you're not going to love. Windsor's been guilty of a couple of them, and when you're down 4, you don't really want to give London any extra opportunities.
Inbound coming, fresh shot clock here for London. White to Cadogan, that easy.
Beautiful play there. Junior Cadogan just beat Maurice Jones towards the rim there. Great job by the London guard.
Seeing a bit of London's fantastic ball movement here on display at Budweiser Gardens. Thomas up against White. Push, turn, too easy for DeAndre.
Again, that touch that DeAndre Thomas has around the rim, just so good at knowing where he is in relation to the basket and being able to lay it in there. It's one thing to have the size that DeAndre Thomas has. It's another thing to be able to use it and have that touch to finish.
Ball tipped out of play as Anderson tried to hop, skip, and a jump to the basket. 2:39 on the clock here. Fourth quarter. The Express making a change quickly. DeAndre Thomas comes off. Looks like Lester Prosper is the man making way. Bounce pass to Williamson. Anderson, can he keep the ball? Yes, he will. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Brown not giving him any space. Garrett Williamson is fouled. Can't get that one to drop, though. So no basket, but he will go to the line. 2.5 on the clock. So Garrett Williamson going back to the line. London 17 for 23 from the charity stripe. Make that 73%. Windsor worse, 65%, 15 for 23. To bring it up to 98, he will get it. And DeAndre Thomas coming back in and Prosper making way. Quick substitution here by Bill Jones.
I think they almost wanted to see what London was going to do if they did that substitution of taking Thomas out. And so that's why you see him go out and then right back in, see if London had any other matchups that they were going to try to take advantage of with Thomas out of the game.
Thomas up against Jones. Here's Jones now with the ball. Kearney can't keep it in.
Almost would have been a beautiful play if Kearney had been able to hold that one, but the pass too far to the left of him and unable to keep that play going. That was a bucket that the Express really could have used there.
98-92, London with the lead, and they've got the ball. Cadogan across half, turns on the Jets, tries to move around Jones, finds a lane and finds the bucket.
Junior Cadogan's really gotten the better of Maurice Jones in this fourth quarter. That's another play where the London point guard just would not be stopped, and just like that, what had been down to 4 is now an 8-point lead.
London hit the century, get a stop here, 100-92, 146. Foul there as Royce White went to the hoop. So he's going to go to the line here. London looking good to take the win here at Budweiser Gardens.
That's going to be Maurice Jones' 5th foul in this game. There's a couple guys on the Express sitting at 5. Quinnell Brown also at 5 fouls. And then, of course, London Lightning, Julian Boyd already fouled out. Royce White sitting at 5. Joel Friesen sitting at 4 fouls.
White misses that first shot. Again, 1:44 on the clock here at Budweiser Gardens. London looking to grab back-to-back wins. Heading into a bit of a break before taking on this Express team again in Windsor on Wednesday. Jones brings it across. The Express have to be quick. 1:30. They bring it to Thomas on the fade. He's fouled. And that's going to go against Royce. That'll be his 6th.
Just like that, London doesn't really have a front court going anymore, as White and Boyd now both forced to sit. I think Criswell thought he was going in, but we'll see who the matchup is now.
Julius is going back to the bench to see who he wants to bring on. Again, yeah, with Royce and Julian Boyd out, we brought up both of those names at the start of this game. When they're not there, it might be too little too late for the Express, though, but, you know, again, to get to that point, you know, if you're Bill Jones, that's certainly a promising thing for your team to bring those 2 guys out at any point and still have DeAndre Thomas and Nick Evans in the game. Thomas can't get that one to drop.
Those free throws are really starting to hurt the Windsor Express. Only 65% from the charity stripe tonight.
Thomas gets the second one to drop. And Prosper's coming back in.
And I think this is the matchup Coach Bill Jones has been trying to get, is Prosper on Cresswell. And so now we see Bill Jones getting what I believe he's been looking for a while now.
Cadogan to Friesen. Nice pass to find Williamson on the near side. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Williamson along the baseline, looking around. Who does he want to pass it to? Hands it off to Anderson. Anderson back to Williamson, so close. It'll tip out off of the Windsor Express with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Inbound coming. 101-93, London with the lead. So Friesen getting set here. Finds Cadogan down low. He can't drain. He's fouled, though. Kearney with the foul. Cadogan going to the line. It's looking good for the London Lightning here with 1:08 on the clock.
Yeah, London Lightning with a very good job closing out this quarter. They just never really gave Windsor an inch, and in fact, they pulled away in the last little bit here. For Windsor, there's some things to learn here. Of course, they're just integrating DeAndre Thomas into the lineup, so they're still learning how and when to use him with the current team, the current edition of the Windsor Express. So it'll take some time for them, but I think there were some positives for the Express in this game so far. There's still time for a miracle, though.
Warren Ward for 3, misses that one. We've now got a minute to go. Cadogan with possession. Friesen backs off Kearney, finds a bit of space, looks to go to the hoop, and that's going to be a foul against DeAndre Thomas. So with 51 seconds left, Friesen will go back to the line.
Thomas now at 5 fouls. I don't think it makes too much of a difference at this point, but
looks like the Express are going to bring on Noel Moffat as well for his first appearance of the game. So Friesen looking to help add to this London Lightning lead.
Campbell and Giroux also coming into the game here. Brown and Jones out.
Game's really all just been about, you know, where would the London Lightning be without Ryan Anderson today? 32 points. game high. Really helped his team today in a big way. Friesen's final shot goes to make it 104-93. You've got to be quick here if you're the Windsor Express if they want to have any chance. Campbell back into this one. Takes the three, and it's no good. Ball falls out of play off of Criswell, so with 38 seconds left, the Express get the ball with a fresh shot clock. In the end, this ended up being a complete four-quarter performance, though, Chris, if you're the London Lightning.
And that's 2 in a row for them, so that's got to be a great sign for Coach Julius.
There's a foul there as Thomas collected the ball, and both teams over the limit, rather. So Thomas will go to the line here. So again, the London Lightning will be in action on Wednesday, and again with that extended break. Next home game here at Budweiser Gardens will be on January 28th when the Niagara River Lions come to town. Bit of a home and home there on the 28th and 29th. And they'll welcome the Moncton Miracles after that, the first game the Lightning will have against a team from out east. Second shot from Thomas is good. Clinton Springer-Williams coming in and replacing Thomas. Full court press here from the Express as Cadogan collects it and takes it up here to Joel Friesen. London with a chance to maybe entertain the crowd a little bit here in the final moments. Or maybe just stand there with the ball.
I think they're just going to kill as much of the clock as they can. Still got to wait for the shot clock, though.
And there's the foul there. So London Lightning move up to a record of 6-3. And the Windsor Express, it looks like Joel Friesen just got teed up there.
I don't think he liked how rough the foul from Springer-Williams was, considering the time left in the game.
Just 12 seconds here as many of Budweiser Gardens remain on their feet. Refs having a quick chat here. And the Windsor Express go down to a record of 3-4, but as you said, the Central Division is so tight that a record like that, you see Clinton Springer-Williams unhappy. Quite a bit of extracurriculars here at the end of this one.
Well, I think they just want to make sure no one gets into a heated altercation of any kind at the end of this one, considering there's only 12 seconds left.
Refs head over to the scorer's table. Again, 12 seconds left. But yeah, you mentioned it already before. You see Bill Jones out on the court. If you're the Windsor Express, not the worst performance, but you know there are definitely some things you can build on.
Well, Windsor's a team that does like to make rather big additions during the season, and so I'm sure there will be some sort of adjustments, whether on the roster or whether the way they play it. They're definitely going to adjust. Some of the things that I thought they did well, they rebounded right at the same pace as London. London, one of the better rebounding teams in the league. And I thought their discipline was very well. They played that physical game that they like to, but they didn't commit a ton of fouls while they did it. So I thought that was a good job by the Windsor Express in that one too. But this game just shows that they're not quite there yet. They don't have the same kind of play going right now that the Orangeville A's have, that the Lightning have, and they're close, but they're not quite there.
So the Windsor Express getting set on the inbound to wrap this one up. Campbell will collect 105-96, and it's like Campbell will take up for the hoop just for the chance, and another foul just to prolong this game. As many fans head for the exits, but you know, again, you mentioned it before, back-to-back four-quarter performances for London. Lighter schedule, get a chance to get a lot more time in the gym and
well, they've actually practiced now.
yeah, that too, yeah. Chance to just add to that. Might not be in the typical game situation, but
Well, even when you're in training camp, you've got guys who are fighting for a roster spot. You're not necessarily, working on your chemistry and all that. And now they get to.
105-99, the London Lightning take the win here at Budweiser Gardens this Sunday over the Windsor Express, the 401 rivalry, with another scrappy chapter. Chris, what's your take on this game? Obviously, DeAndre Thomas, a big story. Ryan Anderson, another big story as well.
Well, yeah, the return of DeAndre Thomas, of course, made himself known rather early in that game, and his presence was certainly felt. I thought the points in the paint was a big one. London, they've been leading most of their games with it, but this time they outscored Windsor 46-30, considering Windsor's another team that likes to play inside. That's a pretty huge margin. Your leading scorers in the game, Ryan Anderson with 32, Julian Boyd with 20. Those two paced the London Lightning. Boyd also added 11 rebounds to get that double-double before he fouled out. Looking at the Windsor Express, 18 points from Warren Ward to lead the Windsor Express. 15 points from DeAndre Thomas in his return from injury. And then Wally Ellenson had 11.
So these two teams will meet again on Wednesday. Quickly, Chris, we just got a couple moments here. What do you expect on Wednesday?
Well, for the Wednesday game, I expect a lot of the same. It's going to be physical between these two teams yet again. They both like to crash and bang. And I think the fact that we mentioned how the adjustments were a big thing. London got out to that start, and then both teams kept adjusting as the game went on. And I think we're going to see another game like that. It's going to be another bit of a chess match between the two coaches. So I expect to see some of that in the next game too.
Perfect. So for Chris, myself, and everyone here on the broadcast crew, thank you very much for tuning in. The final score here at Budweiser Gardens, London 106, Windsor 99.